The franchise recap is on to season 25, a groundbreaking all timer, Free Agents. Airing from April to June 2014, 28 cast members headed to Uruguay and Chile for 12 episodes of individual gameplay, competing for a now slightly boosted $350,000. The big evolution here was once again the format. This was our first individual season, not dual formatted. Some similarities, but a lot of big differences. Drafts for teams or partners at most of the dailies, which music to my ears. You know, I love a draft in a challenge house. So this season, getting to see so many of them was amazing. And then the big part of the format was the introduction of the draw. All non-winners of either the men or the women, whichever daily round it was, would go into the draw, flip over one of the cards. If it was the kill card, you were going in versus the winner's appointed nominee for elimination. Lots of storylines. Let's hit the cast first here, just quickly. Pretty strong representation of both second and early third era stars here. We had Bananas, Zach, Leroy, Jordan, Frank on the men's side, bringing the star power. Laurel, Nani, Teresa, Cara, Janae, Camilla on the women's side, bringing it with a ton of solid supporting players. Beyond that, Kahada, Preston, Brandon, Dustin, Devin, Jessica, Anissa, Jasmine, Naya, Jemmy. I mean, overall, really strong cast, top to bottom. Slightly light on the rookies, though. Two of them do give us a ton to work with. Johnny Riley on the men's side and Latoya on the women's side. In only a few episodes, gives an MVP caliber performance for the brief bit that she is there. There's a decent amount of romance this season, although I will say this is one of the seasons that I am just confident there was a lot we didn't see, and I think we have heard a few little rumblings here and there of things that may or may not have happened, but we do see a few that for sure do. Dustin and Jessica hit it off early after some Cupid playing by Bananas, but Dustin's gone very quick, so nothing really comes of that. It's an episode 1 to 2 storyline. Nani and Kahada is the one that is an all season long kind of storyline. Will she, won't she, with this just adorable, amazing human being. Kahada is just the best. They're kind of on again. Will they? It's not really on again, off again. It's like on again, half on again. She sleeps with Riley one night, which puts a damper on things. And, you know, nowadays we're doing all these in hindsight. Things turned out wonderful for both of them, but me, and I think I speak for a lot of fans, were shipping this hard back in the day. And like, Nani, what are you doing? Just kiss the man. He's the best. Look at him. He's Kahada. Laurel and Jordan also get together this season, which had everyone thinking about the type of competitive monster athletes that those two could reproduce in future challenge gods. But that, of course, did not happen. It was a brief dalliance. But if there ever was another X's season, Jordan could be like, we got another great partner here. I already had Sarah to win me the title the next season after this. Bring it back again one more time. Injuries play a big role this season, which is always a bummer, but the opening men's elimination sees Frank versus Chet in balls in. Chet busts his chin open during the first round and decides to DQ after that. TJ lets him know that it's a little bit weak. He probably would have lost ultimately anyways to Frank, but still counts. Frank then, speaking of, is kind of the biggest loss of the season. He gets super sick and has to leave a few episodes in. He was a force in the first episode or two of the season, and he definitely was at the point where he was going to be a force to be reckoned with this season. So it was a big loss to see him have to drop out. And then the third and final one is Cara Maria breaks her wrist during a daily challenge and then has to do the wall climbing versus Laurel, where you punch holes in the wall to climb it, which is pretty hard to punch a hole when your wrist is broken and bandaged. She was the underdog in that, even without a broken wrist, but obviously not a fair fight given the circumstances, though the broken wrist does give us and leads to the super fun start of the Boston alliance between her and CT. She gets to pick a partner at the daily after this has happened. She feels bad. She doesn't want anyone to have to be partnered with an injured person. She's like, I don't really want to pick anyone. CT lets her know, just do it. Pick me. We're going to do this. You deserve a break. Come on, let's do it. And that's kind of the start of their ongoing friendship and at times partnership when available. Competitively, It's a really good season as far as like it's up in the air the whole time. No one dominates, no one alliance runs things. No, Nani is the only finalist. I think that skates essentially to the final, doesn't see an elimination. But again, a lot of the eliminations, half of them are picked by, or technically slightly less than half, because one of them is not picked by the kill card via Jordan. We'll talk about that in a minute, but half of them are picked at random. So it makes sense that both more people than normal would be going in. And if someone did escape going in ever, it wasn't necessarily because they played a masterful political game. There was a good amount of luck. Eventual champs, Laurel and Bananas, both see multiple limbs, which I'm not sure how often that has happened with an individual winner's season. Teams, pairs rotate throughout the daily challenges. The dailies and the elims are all super good all season long, especially the eliminations. Rotating set of games, which is the part that's similar to the dual seasons. Balls In is one of them. It's a classic. Oppenheimer, which is circular hall brawl, is great. Wrecking Wall, again, the punching, the holes to climb a wall is fun. Looper, reverse tug of war is also great too. So they nailed the eliminations all season. Getting into the memorable moments then, which will come back to the competition and wrap up by the end here. The opening episode is probably the greatest premiere in the history of the show. There's so many things to talk about. The opening challenge, daily challenge, is wild, super dangerous. The two teams chained together have to run up the stairs of a skyscraper, race to the top where a couple of teammates wait to do a puzzle. LaToya gets hurt when Swift jumps over the crowd. Frank is using his team to block a door to get a key. It's a whole thing. Swift jumps over it, knocks LaToya to the ground. She hits her head. It's a whole thing. Wild, crazy, dangerous opening daily challenges, followed by maybe the greatest moment in challenge history, maybe the greatest moment in the history of the world. Definitely my favorite random challenge moment, which is Teresa and CT playing strip basketball with the whole house watching. Leroy's reffing. There's cheerleaders. The whole nine. It's just all out. It's so fun. CT's game-winning deep three is so memorable. Him doing the little afterwards interview with Isaac or Leroy or both, popping bottles all night, the quote, the whole thing. It's just the best scene. And then he does end up popping bottles, sort of, as he gets gets stuck with the steep bar tab the first night out on the town, and then almost gets in a fight with multiple cast members who are like, I don't understand why you're so mad about paying for everyone's drinks. And he's like, I don't understand why none of you understand why I'm so mad about this. Fantastic moment. And then that first episode culminates and finishes with LaToya working Jemmye in Balls In, coming back from the little brief head injury that she had, which wasn't really a head injury. It was more dehydration. She caps the episode. It's one of the best premieres in show history. It's one of the better eliminations of this season, which had a lot of amazing eliminations. Then we have a funeral for Devin's wig, Tamara, after it is ruined in a daily challenge, and the funeral is just as great as you can imagine. Aneesa nearly pulls the upset over Laurel and Oppenheimer, the circular hall brawl. It's a great elimination. She's just behind, and both of them would have been an all-time victory for her. This season's trivia features the classic Bananas moment where he thinks Australians speak Dutch. I can't even say it right because it's so funny. Speak Dutch. Cara outlasts Naya in one of the longest eliminations we've ever seen. In the Looper one, they're just stuck in the sand forever. Zach and CT get to be partners for the daily challenge that is basically T-Bone Volume 3, putting on the pads, running crisscross with teams. Zach and CT shouldn't be allowed to be partners in that. It was very scary and terrifying for everyone else. Guess who won? Those two did. And then an all-time memorable moment and storyline of the season. Jordan, fresh off his great rookie campaign, wants to come in, wants to go for the champ, Bananas, who he doesn't like, that continues says, you have to earn your stripes. Jordan wants Bananas to earn his stripes once again. He plots to get Bananas into elimination and then says if it happens, he will pull all the draw cards himself to guarantee he goes against him. And then he actually does it. And it's super badass. It's a super cool moment. But then they have to play the Wrecking Wall elimination. Not a good one for Jordan. Bananas smokes him. So it backfires. But it was still awesome. It's an incredible storyline and makes the next season where Jordan is working with Bananas and defending him all the more interesting. And finally, right before the final, they arrive to what they think is the final, 4 men, 4 women, and TJ pulls one last twist, telling them there will be an impromptu elimination called Puzzle Pyramid. 3 puzzles to solve. First done is in the final. Others going home right there at the starting line. Laurel beats Teresa, which is very important as she goes on to win, but it's the Bananas CT showdown with everything on the line that is legacy altering, to say the least. Banana takes it, and therefore can always hold claim in the ongoing, never ending CT versus Bananas, who's the GOAT of the challenge, debate. Can always hold that, like, CT is now regarded as a puzzle master. Well, I beat him, not in one puzzle, in 3 puzzles to make a final that either of us would have been favored and probably won. Although CT, given Zach's issues with the altitude, CT had his maybe biggest, most muscular, maybe similar issues. Could Johnny Riley, a rookie, have beaten in both of those? I don't know. But everything on the line, Bananas beats CT in a puzzle. That's a big notch in the belt in that ongoing debate. Bananas and Laurel win the race up the mountain. On the women's side, Nany does put up a damn good fight. She does amazing. She is also aided slightly, a little bit, by the partner aspect of portions of the final, mostly from when Zach completely dies, gasses out, is just crying and whining on the side of the mountain while partnered with Laurel, and is really slowing her down and making things very interesting on the women's side. And Laurel kindly reminds Zach, appropriately reminds him of the treatment of Sam a few seasons back, kind of gives Zach some of his own medicine. She would go on to win. Bananas wins. Laurel's first, Bananas fifth, breaking the tie, setting the new then record 5-time champion. Amazing cast, really good storylines, some solid romance, some solid drama, really good competition and eliminations, some fun random moments. All of it delivers at a high level. This whole season delivers at a high level. It's one of, if not the best premiere episode ever, which is the only reason it even feels like the season tails off a little bit, is just because it starts at a 12 out of 10. We're in peak challenge at this point. Like, this is probably the end or near the end of this amazing, unreal run from Fresh Meat to here, and even really into the next season, Battle of the X's 2. It's another all-timer. It's in the running for the best ever. It gets an A. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the upcoming Battle of the Eras season coverage. Can't speak. Good thing this video is over. I'll be back tomorrow with Battle of the X's 2.